Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 270 of a year of change. Today we're going to get back into our snacking aspect of the different foods. For a while it seems like we originally started this out by doing like alternative snacks and just things that would sort of help offset the chocolate and like cookies and cakes and stuff like that. And we sort of got away from that and went to different vegetables and, regular foods, but, things that would benefit what we're doing, stuff like that. But I sort of want to go back today and just try something a little bit different and just say, this is something that's unique. Not really unique now, but kind of unique. It's nothing really super special. It's not going to be, jam-packed full of vitamins and minerals. It's not going to be something that's going to replace, food that you eat. It's just something a little bit different. So, here is what we're looking at. Actually, I have two different ways of showing it to you. This is actually... I'm trying to think of how to introduce this. Oh, fuck it. It's this. I can't think of anything really important. This is a star fruit, named because of, obviously, its shape. These are... it's a fruit from a tree from the Philippines, but a bunch of other places like Malaysia and Vietnam and everything else. It's a Southeast Asian plant. And although it's not anything super spectacular, this is something I used to get quite a bit when I was younger. And I haven't had it in forever. And it's something that I've wanted to sort of bring into this at some point, a couple of times. But there's always been something else. I'm like, well, this is more pertinent because this is really just sort of, even as fruits go, it's not all that spectacular, really. Flavor-wise, it's really good. But I just mean nutrition, like speaking nutritionally. So, the main reason, obviously, why it's called a star fruit, I've cut a cross-section off here, is because of that. So when you chop it up, or when you slice it, that's what it looks like. Now, the flesh itself, it's the best way to describe it is probably like a really, really firm grape. Almost like watermelon. And that's one thing that you will notice when you're eating it as well. There's a lot of water in this. It's really, really, really juicy. It's not a strong flavor, but, it's enough that it's there. But it's not like a really strong orange or how like a kiwi is a very, very strong flavor to it. This is fairly mild, but it's almost like a watered-down citrus fruit. And, no, show that again. But the flesh itself, like, you can squeeze it. See if I can get some water to come out. It's not coming out. See if I can separate it. It's all wrecked. All came apart. And, oh, there you go. Look at that. We can just take the whole thing apart. Well, that's kind of neat. Anyway, that is starfruit. All right, in my eye. It's okay. I'm not blind. It's fine. And it still sort of retains the shape that way. And my hands are just gooey and wet and... Anyway, we're going to get a nice, neat piece here and take a look at that. There we go. So, back to this. The flesh itself, as I say, it's really, really firm. It's not like a melon, or it's sort of like how watermelon is firm, but when you squeeze it, all the water comes out. But really just sort of a hard grape is probably the best way to describe it. I'm trying to think of what... Yeah, see, it's softer than an apple. It's more water. It's like sort of a cross between an apple and a watermelon, I guess. As far as flavor goes, if you're a sour person, then you'll probably like these. It's not super, super sour. Like, I'd say it's about as sour as... Well, not even as sour as a granny apple. So there's a lot of sugar in it. There's, there's sourness to it as well. Oh, this has a seed in it. But you can pretty much eat everything off it. You can eat the skin. You can eat, probably can eat the seeds as well. Wouldn't really recommend it. You can eat apple seeds as well, but they don't taste very good. Ooh, almost dropped it. But they are fairly expensive. That's the only thing. Generally, you can get them. They're like $2 or $3 a piece. But I really wanted to show this to you guys. So with this, getting into the nutrition aspect of it. And then I have some health warnings about it as well. Just so you know. Nutrition-wise, nothing really great. Vitamin C is good in them. If you have 2 of these, you're set for vitamin C for the day. It has around 50 to 60% of what you need for the day. Everything else, pretty subpar across the board. It's got about the same amount of fiber as an apple does. Has a little bit more protein. So there you go. That's related to what we're doing. It's like 1 gram for every 100 grams or something. So 1 gram of protein. Don't get your protein from these. You'd never stop eating them. And what's the other thing? Fiber. Here we go. A little bit more, or is it a little bit more or a little bit less? I think it's a little bit less fiber. Because that's the thing with the flesh as well, when you look at it. There's no fibers in there at all. Like, aside from the little star pattern that's in the middle, that sort of separates it. Ooh, I'll show you the separate one again. Aside from this section of it, that's sort of linking everything in together in the skin, there's no fiber in it. It's a lot like a grape that way. But vitamin C is not bad, but that's the thing with this, is that I didn't want it to be something that you just say, well, this is great. This can replace apples and oranges and pears and everything else. Oranges are still going to kick its ass with vitamin C. Apples, I think it has roughly the same amount of fiber, maybe a little bit less. It does have less sugar in it than an apple, though. And you can tell that in the taste as well, because it's not a non-existent flavor, but it's very different. It is sort of a sweet flavor to it, but just the same way that sort of watermelon is, where it's not sugary, but you can tell that it's more sweet than sour. But there is a sour hint in there as well. So I used to get these quite a bit because just in the summertime they're really, really good, and there's a tremendous amount of fluid. And as you can see, well, you may not be able to see, but it's everywhere. But there is a lot of liquid in it, so it's good that way. It's nice in the summertime. You can probably freeze it. Actually, you would probably freeze. I've never frozen one. I'm going to freeze this one, actually. But I suspect it would freeze similar to a grape. We'll see how that goes. I'll let you know on Saturday. But health things. Although it's just like any other citrus fruit, it's not really, I don't know if it's a citrus fruit, but I suspect it's similar to it because it tastes like one and sort of it feels that same way. But there are a couple of things, and it's not even... We did talk about peach pits a while ago, if you remember, a long time ago, and how we said, well, that you have to eat 14 peach pits to get enough cyanide to kill you. This is similar, only not as harmless, as odd as that sounds. We'll start with the grapefruit bit. If you remember, a long time ago when I tried the grapefruit, which still tastes like barf, the grapefruit has an adverse reaction to a lot of medications. This does the same thing. So if you can't eat grapefruit, chances are you're not going to be able to eat these, because they do have a tendency to react with medicine, different depending on what the medication is that you're on, which sort of amplifies their effect. So you may not want to do that. Double check with your doctor just to be sure. There is, it's called a carambola, and there's something in it called carambolic acid or caramboloxin or something like that. Something similar. It's this. That's what it's called. And it's a toxin. It's toxic to everybody. However, for the majority of us, it's fine. I've already had one of these. I'm fine. I used to eat them all the time. You're okay. You're not going to die. Don't worry. But for any of you that are out there that have any kidney issues, if you have kidney stones, or if you have just regular kidney problems, if you're on dialysis or anything like that, anything kidney related, this has a very severe reaction to some people. And the toxin that's in there ends up acting like a neurotoxin. There have been reports of people having seizures, of people dying. So it's enough to warrant not eating them. So for any of you out there that have kidney problems, sorry for showing this to you. But yeah, figure I would at least give you fair warning. So at least there's something a little bit interesting about it, that if you have kidney issues and you eat one of these, you're probably going to get very, very sick, and you might even die. Because they have had reports of people dying from it as well. But it, as I say, it reacts the same way like grapefruit does, but the toxin, and I don't have a thing. I should have had it up there showing what the name is, but you saw it anyway, and I didn't. And these are called carambolas as well. So it's, I want to say caramboloxin, Mississippi, whatever the toxin is. But for the vast majority of us, you're going to be okay. If you don't have any kidney problems, it's not one of those where, like, well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't eat them because I could explode. You'll be fine. If you have kidney issues, then you know you have kidney issues, so don't eat them. Or at the very least, talk to your doctor and say, this might kill me. Is it okay if I try a little piece? He's probably going to say no. Or she's going to say no. Anyway, that's it. I really have nothing spectacular to show you with this. It is, I'm going to see if we can get a closer picture, because you can see the seeds in there. Not by much. I don't know if you can even see the grain in there. Otherwise, I'm going to go really close and just block everything out, and it's going to go out of focus. If it hasn't already, no, we're good. But I'm all over the place again. All right. Anyway, nutrition-wise, nothing great. It's a lot like an apple or any other fruit that's out there, but it's something a little bit different. And I know for the past couple of weeks, we've sort of really been focusing on, well, anytime I talk, it's been, we're broadening our horizons, I should say, and bringing in a wide variety of different things. And this is just another one of those things, and it's something a little bit different. Just like saying, well, I'm going to have a kiwi instead of an apple, or I'm going to have a pear instead of an orange. I don't know why pears seem to be like a rare fruit. I think it's because they're ripe for like 10 seconds. And they're either hard as hell, and then they're ripe enough that you can eat them, and they're great, and then they just turn to shit. And then they're just gooey everywhere. That's why I don't often buy them. The red ones are usually pretty good, though. They tend to take a little bit longer to ripen. We're getting off topic, but I always think, apples, oranges, and bananas are the top three. And then pears are sort of a close fourth. I was going to say second, but I can do math, so I'm going to say fourth. And then grapefruit should go in the corner where it fucking belongs, and no one ever touch it because it tastes gross. I was going to say yucky. I'm going to say it tastes yucky. Grapefruit is still, not for me. But these are pretty good. These could be one of those things just to sort of round those things out. And it's like honeydew or, what's the other kind of melon? There's honeydew and cantaloupe are the two I'm thinking of. Where you don't have it all the time, but it's something a little bit different. Same thing with watermelon. And aside from the price, because they are pretty pricey, it's nice to try. Now, by the way, for some of you that are going, it's brown, it's going to be brown. There's no way you can get around it. Generally, these are like a really, I was going to say bright green, but a deep green is probably the best way to put it. That's when they're picked, and then they gradually turn yellow. And there's still some green in this one. I don't know if you can see it. Not so much. But there is some green like deep down inside there that you can see. The skin will turn yellow first. The edges are going to turn brown anyway. And they do get a little soft, but they aren't rotten or anything. It's just that's how it goes. By the time this is completely ripe, then all the edges are going to be brown. It's normal. You're probably not going to find one that doesn't have that, but you can eat the entire thing. Like just hope, which I'm not going to do right now because it will go everywhere. So be very, very careful when you're cutting these. When you're cutting these open, do it on a plate because you can't cut it like an apple or anything like that. There's probably about as much juice in it as an orange, or I'm going to go back to a watermelon. Aside from the flavor, but when it comes to like the amount of liquid that's in it, it's really, really, really watery. So it just goes everywhere. And as you can see, although it is somewhat acidic because it's sort of that sour taste to it, got some in my eye and I'm not blind. And yet, until maybe tomorrow morning when I wake up, I won't be able to see because I got carambola neurotoxin in my eye. How badass would that be for a way to go? I got neurotoxin in my eye. That's what killed him. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't have any special information about it at all. Nothing that's going to stand out and say, oh, you need to do this because it has antioxidants in it. Well, so does everything else. The majority of fruits are good for you. And this, you can go up and take a look at nutritional information if you want. Actually, no, you know what? I'll do you one better. I will put the nutritional information in the description below so that you can quickly take a look. And I'll put one down there for an apple as well, just to sort of compare it. And then an orange. Or an apple, orange, and a banana. Banana. It's a different kind of fruit. You haven't heard of it before. But yeah, so that you can compare them. As I say, it's nothing that you're going to look at and say, well, I should be eating this instead of the other stuff. Just something a little bit different to try. And really, you can eat the entire thing. Spit the seeds out. There is sort of a gooey coating that surrounds the seeds, similar to the passion fruit that we looked at a while ago. So just get rid of that gooey part, but everything else around it is good. And it looks like a little star. And there's another little star there. I just cut this. This is why you can see seeds in there. Those aren't rotten bits. Those are little bits of seeds. You can just go, eh. And it would have pinged out of the way. But it didn't. Wait, there's a better specimen there. So there we go. We'll take a look at this. I'm trying to get one where it looks reasonably like a star. Which way should it? This way probably. That way probably looks best. Anyway, that's it. So So we did the grapefruit thing. Made sure it tells you about that, because otherwise I'm going to get in trouble. Kidney things. Your brain will explode if you eat one. That's pretty much it. Anyway, go up, take a look at the information on it, and if you do find it somewhere near you, this is usually only available in one store near me. Not a lot of places carry it because I don't think a lot of people go after it, just because it looks different and it's usually brown, and they sort of equate that to the brown of a banana, which, But if you can find it, go ahead, spend the $2 or $3, try it. You may like it, you may not. You might just go, it's kind of, yeah. It's not going to be anything that you're going to go, oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever tasted. But it is something different, and that's the main thing. I want to sort of get back to that and show that at least it's something new that we've tried. And, yeah, so that's it. But, as I say, no, I've already said that. I'm going to repeat myself. Shut up. That's pretty much it. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here, because otherwise I keep thinking that I'm going to say something. And I'm going, no, that wasn't it. No, oh, that wasn't it. So I'm just going to sit here for the next 5 minutes. Shut up. So I'm going to leave this video here. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. In the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.